This Saturday from Long Island, WWE presents Saturday Night's main event, streaming live on Peacock, of course, but it is also going to be an NBC televised special for 2 hours. And we have five matches to break down, the same as a PLE in 3 hours. So I wonder how WWE's pacing is going to do with this event. But let's start off with the first non-title and the only non-title match on this card. Drew McIntyre against Sami Zayn, which of course took place starting at the Raw after Survivor Series, where Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, the Yeet Man himself were all involved in this controversy because Seth Rollins did not like the fact that CM Punk teamed with Sammy and Jay and Jimmy and Roman at War Games. Sammy and Jay both said CM Punk did them a favor because of the fact that Seth Rollins refused to team with the OTC. It led to a Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins main event on Raw that occurred right before the contest began. Jay Uso was seen laid out in the back. Um, we know that Sami Zayn obviously accused Seth Rollins of doing the attack. Seth Rollins would defeat Sami Zayn via a roll up. Then he would tell Sami Zayn to get his head on straight that he was not the man that attacked Jey Uso. And then, bam, Claymore kick by McIntyre. And McIntyre has basically said anybody associated with Roman Reigns, anybody associated with CM Punk is an enemy of his. We saw Drew McIntyre attack Sami Zayn on the entranceway on Raw this past Monday, and then we also saw Sami Zayn get back at Drew McIntyre in the parking lot. This was a match that I'll be honest, I feel like they might have rushed a little bit. Like I could see them going back to this same exact match at WrestleMania 41. For this match, I do wonder if Seth Rollins gets involved because we do have another Saturday night's main event taking place right before the Royal Rumble the week before. I've seen some theories on the internet and I agree with this. Maybe they do Rollins and McIntyre teaming up before the Rumble against the likes of a CM Punk, against a Sami Zayn or a Jey Uso. Uh, as of course we've heard the rumors that Seth Rollins and CM Punk is going to be one of the main event matches on the first Monday Night Raw on Netflix, which is interesting to me from a WrestleMania perspective. But here, Drew McIntyre is coming back. He's the Scottish psychopath. I think he's on a warpath. I think he puts down Sami Zayn like he said he's intended to do. I think a big Claymore and a fantastic match. Drew McIntyre comes out victorious. Now we go to the women's matches. Let's start with the first ever Women's United States Championship, where I thought the finals of this thing was going to be one of the semifinal matches is going to be on SmackDown this coming Friday between Bayley and Chelsea Green. I really think those are the two most deserving competitors to win this first ever Women's U.S. Championship. Of course, Michin and Tiffany Stratton is on the other side. You guys know I have predicted that Tiffany Stratton is going to cash in her Women's Money in the Bank briefcase on Nia Jax, become the WWE Women's Champion at some point here in the near future. I think she's going to do it before WrestleMania. My hope is she does it before the Royal Rumble. I don't think that Tiffany Stratton is going to beat Michin. I think Michin is going to be in the finals. And so that reasoning would tell me that Michin and Chelsea Green, who had that dumpster match earlier this year in the fall, are going to renew their rivalry. And one of those two women are going to come out with the Women's U.S. Championship. I think Bayley will get, distracted by either Piper Niven or somebody else on the blue brand, allowing Chelsea Green to win the match. And I do think that, there's going to be by hook or by crook, again, maybe Piper Niven or somebody else gets involved on behalf of Chelsea Green. I think Chelsea Green, who has been one of the best signings in the Triple H era of WWE, her character work is incredible. And I do think that she is the perfect candidate to start out with a women's mid card division, which I am so looking forward to. It was, to be honest with you, they kept saying the death of the women's division with this championship now. I thought that they should have did this back when they first introduced the women's tag titles. I would have preferred a women's US and a women's Intercontinental Championship as opposed to making all random tag teams in the women's division. So, with that being said, again, I do think that Chelsea Green, man, do I miss Samantha Irvin so much with that introduction. I think she becomes the first ever woman United States Championship, and I think the crowd will be behind her. Then we get to our three main title match of the night. And I do think Saturday night's main event is going to have a big angle. I think we're going to have a big title change at some point. I have yet to decide what that title change will be. We have Liv Morgan defending the Women's World Championship against Io Sky. Out of all three possible World Championship changes, this seems like to me the least title change. I do think Rhea Ripley will get involved. She'll try to take out Raquel Rodriguez. Then I think Dominic Mysterio may get involved, distract Io Sky. Kairi Sane may try to help out, but it's not going to matter because an oblivion later, and Liv Morgan will become your still women's world champion because I do think they need to finish this Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley feud. And like my partner over at Championship Rings, Josh Unger, has said, maybe it does not go all the way to WrestleMania. Maybe it concludes the first Raw on Netflix, which I could totally see happening. Then we get to the two men's world championship matches. Let's start with the match that was originally going to be a solo match between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. We saw what happened with Gunther and Finn Balor for the world championship. We saw what happened with Damian Priest and Gunther. That's what I meant to say. At Survivor Series, with basically the same finish as SummerSlam, with Finn Balor costing Priest the world championship. The Monday after Survivor Series, Finn Balor comes out, and Gunther has no respect for Finn Balor because Gunther does not think that Finn Balor respects the sport of professional wrestling. Gunther does not like the fact that Finn Balor takes shortcuts. As you can see, we're slowly transitioning, and this is what the reports have been saying, into a Gunther face turn a little bit. I don't think it's a complete face turn. But we know that Gunther does not like Dirty Dom. He dispatched of him the Raw after Survivor Series, but then the attack by Balor on Gunther prompted this match. And then on Raw this past Monday, Balor and Priest get into a brawl. Balor and Gunther. I don't know why I keep saying Priest because I keep thinking Damian Priest is on my mind. Balor and Gunther go at it. Damian Priest gets involved, and it turns into this triple threat melee. And now all of a sudden, that you have the two former Judgment Day members linked in there with the Ring General. There is a scenario where Gunther loses the World Championship. And I'll throw this out there. With Raw moving to Netflix, and we know the big stars that Netflix wants Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, etc. With the transfer portal going on right now in WWE, it does open up the door for Gunther to lose his championship, move over to the blue brand, Cody Rhodes to lose his championship, and move over to the red brand with the OTC for a WrestleMania season, if you will. I'm not going to say encounter because, again, I think we have a lot to figure out when it comes to WrestleMania 41 yet. I don't know here. I think that the Damian Priest Finn Balor feud, a lot like Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, will continue to either the Raw on Netflix or even into WrestleMania. There's a lot of speculation out there that, Priest could move over to SmackDown. They separate Priest and Finn Balor as sort of those two feuds have been going on for a long time. Certainly a possibility, in my opinion. But I do think that Gunther, the ring general, I have him for a world championship match against John Cena at WrestleMania 41. I'm going to stick to my guns on that. I do think Gunther retains the world championship. Now, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens for the Undisputed Championship. This goes way back, obviously, them two fighting with the bloodline, so it's the Coa's bloodline, I should say, over the summer. It also goes back to the fact that Cody Rhodes gave Kevin Owens an undisputed championship match at the Bash in Berlin. Kevin Owens had Cody Rhodes crippled, but he could not pull the trigger. And then it goes back to Cody Rhodes teaming with Roman Reigns at Bad Blood, and then Kevin Owens attacking Roman Reigns in the or Cody Rhodes. Why am I mispronouncing everything today? It goes back to Kevin Owens attacking the American Nightmare in the parking lot via fan footage at Bad Blood. And this Kevin Owens heel turn has been set up perfectly. You guys know I've always been a bigger fan of heel KO than babyface KO. And a lot of people think that Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, there could be a championship change here. I'll say two things. Number one is I would not be surprised if this is the opening contest of the show. Because in years past, Saturday night's main event used to appear obviously right before Saturday Night Live. In order to get people hooked, in order to get people to stay around until Saturday Night Live took place, WWE used to book the main event of this show, Saturday Night's main event, as the first contest of the night. So knowing the history, knowing that Jesse Body the Ventura will be on commentary, the old school graphics, everything WWE has done old school, that's a possibility. I also think WWE is going to set up a major angle here to get people hooked for the next Saturday night's main event, to get people to tune into the first Raw on Netflix, to get people to tune into the Royal Rumble. Whether that big angle is Randy Orton returning and costing Kevin Owens the undisputed championship, but then also RKOing Cody Rhodes after, which leads us to the triple threat at the Royal Rumble between Cody, Randy, KO. I think that's a scenario. Or whether the final boss, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, appears on Saturday night's main event live on Long Island to potentially cost Cody Rhodes the undisputed championship. I think both scenarios are plausible. I think Orton's return is more likely. I am going to go in and say that I think the plan is for Cody Rhodes and the final boss to meet at WrestleMania 41 with Cody Rhodes as champion. I don't think WWE is going to take the belt off of the American Nightmare. I think Randy Orton returns. He'll RKO both. Cody Rhodes will retain the championship. So again, I do think there's a huge possibility for a title change. Am I predicting it to happen? I want to so bad, but I'm hesitant to pull the trigger because I think Triple H is hell bent on having Cody Rhodes and Gunther have long championship reigns. I will be pleasantly surprised if I am wrong. Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.